Okay, timer is set. Mic is on. Cool. Flowers are lit.
Flowers are lit.
Yeah. Yeah. Colby, welcome to the Golden Exposure Podcast, where the weaving of philosophical minds, hearts, and spirits come together to express the poetry of life and expose the golden matter of life itself.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Yeah, for making this happen and creating the space and time to drop in and share your existence with the audience of the Golden Exposure Podcast. You have been on quite a journey,
Yes.
quite a life journey. You have created so much, and yet this is only just the beginning. As you were expressing earlier, you're on the precipice of this this potential and feeling the pain of staying complacent, and also feeling the pain of moving into your potential. And I think that's such a beautiful place to be. It's so epic. I'm celebrating you as you are sitting within that
Thank
stew
you.
of isness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think at this point in my life, from where I've been to where I am now, and I was just having this conversation with my parents, going from a business owner who's addicted to heroin, having chaos in my life, being in a relationship that I wasn't happy in, and living in this life that I was that it felt good from the outside, and I was able to help people, but I wasn't helping myself. And so I've made more growth within myself over the past 2 years than I did in the whole 10 years, 11 years of running the business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what brought you to that moment of what was the catalyst that brought you into the last 2 years of your life?
It was the desire to change.
Where did that come from?
It came from the constant pain that I had to sit in year after year. And I think this goes within what we were talking about of like being comfortable with just being comfortable in the situation that you're in, but knowing you wanted to make change and to be different and to live a different life, and the pain that comes within the change itself. And I was so ready to live a different life and to find a different path for myself that it just all came to a head when things got the worst they could have ever been. And I think the catalyst for me was, addiction was a huge issue for me. And it's something that I always wanted to heal from. And I had an overdose while I was living in Colorado that really rocked my world, and I almost died from. And it was by the grace of God that someone actually found me. And I knew at that moment that God had bigger plans for me. And so I decided to make a total change in my life.
Wow.
And it was at that moment in time when I decided to take a different route of healing and to go further into myself. And that's when I moved to Mexico and started working with plant medicine in a serious ceremonial fashion. And it's when I really learned about myself and learned what I was capable of, and also was able to be confronted with all of these things, showing me why my life was the way it was and why I was still unhappy. And then at the same time, also showing me of like how things can be different and that they don't have to be like that anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like that. This is for now, but it's not for forever if you choose for it to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what drew you to plant medicine? Because going from being an addict into plant medicine, I think for some people They'd be like, that's kind of dangerous. It's kind of, you're playing with fire maybe at that point.
Yeah. Well, that moment in time, I was willing to try anything. I was already playing with fire, being a heroin addict, and psychedelics I've always been interested and they've always called to me, and I tried the normal way of Western medicine of trying to heal, and going to treatments and rehabs and doing the traditional American way of like, this is how you get better, and none of it worked. And so I was really open to anything that would hopefully help me. And I'm really happy that I did, because it has totally transformed my life and the person I am.
Yeah. I feel like just knowing you, I feel like it's uncovered the person that you are versus changed. It's like you have been able to discover your truth. And before we started recording, that was something we were speaking to is like, you always know your truth. There is that central point of truth, and then it's choosing to take action from that place. And so what is that like for you right now?
I believe I'm more connected to Creator than I have ever been. And I always had some sort of truth, and I believe everyone has truth within them. But it's the ability to receive it. And I think previously I would be receiving these things, but they would just kind of go by and I wouldn't really think about them. And now I go through my everyday life with conscious contact to Creator, God, whatever you want to believe in. But I feel communicated to on a daily basis 100% of the time. And my truth is real, and at this point in time it's more of like sharpening of like listening to the messages that I receive, and not just pushing them to the side. It's listening to these messages, observing them, and then I'm asking myself a bigger question of like, how can I integrate this into my life and make and be on a truer path of like self.
Yeah, absolutely. And that being a daily question is what it feels.
It's a every second,
every moment
question.
Wow.
It's just like it's so beautiful that I'm able to like have that conversation with myself.
Right. So beautiful to have that capacity to do that.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's because before I was numb to any messages I was receiving. Again, we talk about like I was addicted to heroin. I was also prescribed anxiety medications. I was on sleep medications. I was in a relationship that I wasn't happy in, and it was just a whirlwind of like, if I look back now, I would have never put myself in a situation like that. There would have been, I'm sure there was, lots of messages to me like, don't do this, you're killing yourself.
Like literally.
Yeah. And I just chose to like disregard the messages and to use substance to just drown that out.
Yeah.
And put it off for a later time, which it always came back. It was always there. And so therefore I always had to like push it away more.
Yeah. I'm so curious about the impetus to push it away. Like, what was the drive? There must have been, a carrot at the end of the stick driving you forward to continuously push these messages away.
Well, it was that my life from the outside looking in was very good.
Okay, yeah.
I was also fulfilled in certain ways, in my relationship that I was very comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a deeper core level, there was a lot of things that I was not satisfied either. But I just accepted them as that is how it is. That's just how it's going to be. And this is my life now. So now I have the opportunity, whatever it's in, friendships, relationships, things I do on the day-to-day basis, to where I can be like, this doesn't serve me, or this just doesn't feel right. And I have a better ability to just to say like no. Rather, before I would just be like, it is just kind of how it is, and this is just, I'm just going to go with it. And then we talk about tuning back into my truth. It's like, it's hard, and it's hard to make these decisions sometimes, but to be like, this is what I have to do for myself. And I think it sounds selfish, but like putting myself first.
Yeah.
For my own peace. Because a lot of my life, I put other people before me. And other people, like with the gym, I gave all of my energy to all of these people every single day. And I had none left to give back to myself. So now I'm in a place where I can be like, all right, I'm going to choose me. And I think if I choose me first, then all of my other relationships in my life will fall into place as they should. Because if someone isn't receiving my full self, because I'm not listening to my truth, or my living to my full potential, they will not be receiving what I believe they should.
Yeah, and what all of life is worthy of is to receive the fullest of life itself, which means gifting each other the gift of each other.
Yes.
Yeah, this grand weaving. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. I had so many questions and thoughts within there, and then I'm just like, wow, that's so, just everything, just really, really taking all of that in. So valuable.
Yeah.
Because I could see you gifting yourself to others and feeling such a confidence in your ability to just push through and to just show up, for others. And yet, less confidence in how you might show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is what you're getting to experience right now. How do I continuously show up for myself better?
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah. And for me, my peace, might look different than what other people's peace looks like.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And I really enjoy, this is another thing that I didn't before. I really enjoy being by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I get that.
because I love myself now. And
wow.
I love the person that I get to sit with. And before, I did not. I wanted to do anything else but have to sit with myself. And that, that's just, and for me, it was, majority of that was using substance to get outside of the feelings of having to sit with my true self, because I didn't love myself to the purest.
Wow. Yeah. And sitting in this love for yourself, what do you feel like? If you were to bring some adjectives into this experience of you being with you, what would that sound like?
I just feel a massive sense of peace, love, connection, and gratitude for not only myself, but for everything around me. And
Yeah.
all living things, I was blinded to the fact that there was so much beauty around me
Whoa.
before.
Whoa.
I just was just like, I just had, my vision was blurred in terms of like being grateful for what I had and seeing beauty in the little things, the small things that I now am able to see
Yeah.
in my life.
When you witness the beauty, you feel the love. And when you feel that love that is so connected to everything, then your eyes are even more open to more beauty, and it just continues on and on.
Yes.
This resonance. Yeah. Wow. That's gorgeous. Well, Colby, I'm so grateful for your journey. So grateful to know you. I'm very grateful that you came into my life. Yeah, blessed for sure. And how can people work with you? I know you're moving, moving your personal training into potentially an online format. And I'm like, what can I share?
Yeah, I mean, so of course my background is doing in-person training and running large fitness classes for the last over a decade, and now I've taken the step to be able to reach more people and to share my energy with them online.
Amazing.
And it's a new endeavor for me, and you know, I'm so used to just giving my energy to people in person and allowing them to feel that, and then give them the decision to like want to stick around because they really enjoy that. And like I love helping people move their bodies and get fit and feeling better inside of themselves, and it's been a big thing for me. It's been my biggest outlet. It brings me back to center. It allows me to have a lot less stress, anxiety in my life, to feel fulfilled. Because like, even if I'm having a shitty day, if I can like go and do a workout and just sweat, and it doesn't have to be like lifting weights, it could just be moving your body, going to yoga, anything like where we're going to sweat and move our bodies. So important.
And the water within our bodies is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And so I want to bring that to other people and show them kind of like an alternative way of like what they think training has to look like, and a more well-rounded version of like total spiritual fitness.
Yeah, spiritual fitness. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you'll be linked in the show notes, and people can find you there on Instagram and otherwise.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Oh. Oh, that was so concise and gorgeous.
What do you have, Lunita? What is that?